I am Nick Shell, and I am the living legend. But I think it's important to know this about me. I have been rejected so many times. I have failed so many times. It's important that you know that. And here's something else that's very important for you to know. Any man that you respect, that you look up to, and you think, man, I can appreciate what he's done with his life. I want to be like that guy. Anytime you've ever thought, I want to be like that guy, I assure you, he has faced so much rejection, and he has failed so many times, which is why he's at the place he is, to the point where you can say, I want to be like that guy. Never think that a successful man got where he was with really facing little rejection and never really failing. Never believe that. That would be a lie. Never allow yourself to believe that lie. Never let that be the default way of thinking. Successful men have failed a lot more, and they've been rejected a lot more to get where they are. They took a lot more risks, and when you take a risk, the word risk means that you may not win. You may not succeed. It's a gamble. Successful men take more risks, and they often, especially, risk rejection. So I think it's important that I say that out loud. To me, that's common sense, but especially now where I'm at in my life, I feel like I'm living it now. Let me share this with you. And I probably mentioned it a few weeks ago in another video, but if you haven't seen my wife, then that just means you have only recently started watching my videos, because she's usually in a video every couple months. And there was one we recently made where I was openly acknowledging that people compare her to Jessica Biel. And in fact, last Saturday, I was at the soccer game and my wife was there. And one of the soccer moms met my wife for the first time, because I'm often the one that takes my son to soccer practice. So when my wife's there on the weekends, she'll meet kind of everybody there that's for the game. And so this soccer mom, after she met my wife on the following Monday, the next practice, she said, "You're one lucky guy. Your wife is beautiful. She makes me think of Jessica Biel." And so that was in real life. That happened, well, in my real time, it happened about a week ago. And many people say that about my wife. So the point is, I'm married to a very attractive woman and have been for nearly 11 years. That's the fact. Now, you can look at me. You may say, okay, well, he's handsome, but I'm not like the best looking guy there is. I'm not even that tall, but none of that matters. What matters is that I am married to my wife, who is beautiful and intelligent and makes more money than me, actually, in the office. It's not until you count in my YouTube money, my blog money, my SEO money, all my stuff on the other side, that we're even comparable. But going to the offices that we go to every day, she actually makes considerable more money than I do. So she's great. She's the one I want to be married to for nearly 11 years. With that being said, I was rejected many times before I could even get to the point where I would meet the woman who would become my wife. It's funny because I was recently thinking back to college, and all of the girls that I was very much attracted to the girls that I thought, man, I would want to spend the rest of my life with her. And there were several girls that fit that category throughout my college years. I didn't end up with any of them. They all rejected me. It's true. The ones that I really thought I could see a future with, they all rejected me. And none of those times did I ever freak out about it. Oh no, my life's over. I just accepted. Apparently she's not the one for me. Even if on paper it makes perfect sense. I was rejected more times than I can count. So you can imagine by the time I actually met my wife, I was not expecting it to turn into anything. I looked at her, I saw her from across the room, I thought, I'm gonna go talk to that beautiful Puerto Rican looking girl. Let me go talk to her. And by the end of the night, after we hung out for a couple hours, I thought, I'm going to be in the friend zone. There's no way this is going to turn into something, but I'm going to go through the motions. I'm going to fake it till I make it, right? And that's who I ended up marrying. But I think all of those rejections in college led to that. Hey, I got to share this. This is, and I told my wife about this. It's really funny. But there was this girl in college that I thought she very easily was the one for me. And I remembered, I mean, it's not like it just came out of nowhere, you know. It was like, I took her out to coffee, and then there was and we hung out there, and then there was another. She said she had never eaten a corn dog in her life. She grew up like not homeschooled, but like in a Christian school, and everything was very sheltered. And her parents were like really strict about what she ate. So I went to Walmart. I got her a thing of like frozen corn dogs. I knocked on her dorm window, and I delivered these corn dogs. Yeah, it's very corny, but it's pretty clever too, because I happened to hear that one detail when we went out for coffee, and I thought, okay, I'm making great progress. So by the time I finally got to the point where I was asking her out on more of an official date, here's what I was told. And by the way, I had every reason to believe. It's not like it was an illusion. Like, there was reasons to believe this was going somewhere. And what did she tell me when I expressed how I felt about her? Like, hey, I'm interested in you. I'd like to take you out. Whatever I said. Her response, Nick, I don't know. I've only got maybe 50 more years left to live. That was her response. She was 20. So she was saying she only had 50 more years left to live. Like, what a rejection. Like, epic rejection. Whoa. To have a 20-year-old girl tell you, and of course at the time, how old was I? I guess I was 22 or whatever. But to be given that as the line, like, she could have just said no thanks, but she said, I've only got 50 more years left to live. So I basically, yeah, for that reason, nothing can ever happen with us. So it's still weird when I say it out loud. Like, if I have the ability to turn red, if I have the ability to be embarrassed, maybe I am right now, but just because it really is funny to think about that. She was one of many rejections during those college years. But all of that prepared me for me to meet my wife and to have the level of confidence, because I really do believe the more times you're rejected, well, see, I guess this is ultimately kind of an all or nothing for many men. A lot of men will see rejection as a reason to become less. And I don't deserve that because I've been rejected so many times. That's what I call victim mentality. But I'm not a victim, I'm victorious. So for me, every time I was rejected and told no, it's like it gave me more power and confidence. So that I was able to meet a woman who is the caliber that my wife is. And had I not had been rejected all those other times, I don't know that I could have got away with convincing my wife that I was worth dating, worth marrying, etc. I mean, have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about how the most successful men have probably been rejected the most and have failed the most? I mean, even on this YouTube channel, now that we're over 7,000 subscribers, how many times did I fail in a video? Many times. But I just learned from those mistakes and learned to make the channel better. Now, a lot of you say, well, Nick, I still hate your channel. Well, but look, it's growing in popularity, so as long as it's doing that, it means that it is better than it was before, compared to a couple years ago when I finally hit 1,000 subscribers and I was so excited about it. And now here I am at 7,000 and I'm excited and I'm grateful, but I'm not like, yeah, because I realized, okay, well, I have the skill set, the life experience from all the times I failed, from all those other videos. Because keep in mind, when I first started doing this channel, it was a superhero series that I was the villain and my son was the superhero, and I had music and action and all this stuff, and I put so much time and effort in that, but it was a failure. No one watched it except for my own family. The free world didn't care anything about it. So I realized after I had 22 episodes of the first series and 27 or 8 on the second one, I spent so many hours of my life, and I wouldn't do it over again. If I had to do it over again, I'd still do it, what I'm trying to say. But ultimately, in the metrics of this channel, that was a failure. It never got me past 100 subscribers when I was doing that. It wasn't until I was able to realize what actually is connecting with people that will help this channel grow. I have failed so many times. I have been rejected so many times, and that's how I'm here today. And it's not just about with my wife. It's about living in this amazing house and neighborhood that I live in. It's about the amazing vehicle that I drive, the amazing job that I have. It took rejection to become a better person so that I could get to the point where I could achieve better things. So what I'm saying is, here's the main takeaway. Never fear rejection. Expect rejection. Do not feel that failure is going to be the end of you. In fact, failure may be the beginning of you. I'm Nick Shell. I am the living legend. Your comments belong right here.